Mhm.
We live, you know that?
Well, we will be in a minute. I've
It's
noticed last time the delay, it doesn't matter.
I'm about to say because it says live on mine.
Good evening,
My
everyone,
goodness.
and welcome to Be the Media Huntington. Tonight is September 18th, and my name is Jenny Lee, and I have with me, as always, Miss Dana
Hi guys.
and Miss Lisa.
Hi, everyone.
And we're still trying to figure out, I think, when this thing starts under our our new software to bring all the latest and greatest in Huntington straight to you. And as you can see, I'm still at the planning board meeting for Indian Hills. This is exactly what it looked like when we left tonight. We went there. This is in regards to Indian Hills at Fort Salonga. And you guys remember we went down there with all the chipmunks and we did, was it the two-parter?
Yes.
That was, so if anybody wants to go back and get more detail about what's going on. So tonight was the hearing for the new draft environmental impact study, the DEIS. And the meeting actually started off with, they are a panel of 7 that are appointed by the town board, the planning department. And you can see they're packed. I don't normally go to meetings like this. No one usually goes to meetings like this. They were definitely packed for this.
It was a lot busier than this.
Yes.
There was standing room only. They were just coming and coming.
Like you'll see that in a town board meeting when it's a big development, but you don't really see it at the planning board meeting unless people are making a stand. So in the very beginning, there was a man that recused himself. I forget which one he was. He was the older man on the board. He said, I have conflicts and I'm recusing myself. And he got out and he walked away. And then David Panetta, who is an appointed board member, he sat there and he went through this laundry list of reasons why people were starting to question that he should recuse himself. And I want you to know this is what he looked like through most of the hearing when he was listening to them. But so he goes to his long list and he says, no, I was cleared by the ethics department, even though he just listed boom, 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 reasons why I shouldn't be a part of this hearing. He stayed. So the chairman, Paul Mendeleek, he decides he's going to institute new rules at the meeting because normally you get to speak for 3 minutes. So he cuts it down to under 2 minutes and nobody was happy with this decision. Nobody got notice. Everybody prepared their speeches for 3. So you're shaving off 1/3 of all their time. So it was Daniel Carpin who jumps up and starts screaming, no, this is illegal. This is against the rules. When it comes to secra law is different. You must be given the 3 minutes. And he said, nope, sticking my decision. So a couple of speakers go by at the 2-minute mark, and then he decides, no, I'm going to go ahead and change that to 2:30 now that I thought about it. I'm going to give you guys 30 more seconds. So they were basically interrupting everybody except for the people who were for the, right, Lisa? Except for the people that were for the project, the people that were against it, and they had good facts. So I got frustrated. So when Daniel first stood up and said, no, this is against the rules, that's when the chairman said, if there were any more public outbursts, he was going to have people removed from the committee. So the speakers are going, they're getting interrupted. And then Daniel gets up to speak. And this is when it really, because I love Daniel. I consider him a great man. He has a brilliant mind, but they cut him off and he only needed like 30 seconds left. And at that time, it's going through my mind, like, this is complete BS. Like, somebody needs to yield their time here. And I just didn't have the gumption to do it yet. So another speaker goes by and then another speaker, and they cut him off and I couldn't take it anymore. And I jumped up and I said, I yield my time to the speaker. And he wouldn't listen. He just kept insisting and everyone was screaming that they should take my time. I was yielding my time, let him finish. Like almost a minute goes by. If he just would have let him finish and taken my time, he could have finished. We could have all moved on. But instead they decided to call the police to come. I'm still not clear who the police were called for, but that's when Lisa and I decided that we were going to go ahead and leave. So the planning board meeting, if you click on the video right now, is still going on. Results of the DEIS, but as soon as we have some information, we'll bring that to you. boom, go.
You know, I have just I guess a comment. When this attorney was going with his laundry list about why he should be recused, and the ethics board said that he didn't need to be recused,
Mhm.
that should really worry a lot of people, that the ethics are really to be questioned in this town
I've
and
been
this town government. Seriously.
I've been to them. They're a farce. Again, these are people who are appointed by the people that they're giving the ethics review on. And they only hold their meetings, I believe, once a year. I think they attempted once to change it to twice a year. I don't know if that's been done. I haven't been following it because I simply give up on things that are broken.
Oh my God. It makes no sense.
The only thing, I'm not clear on, is why they threatened to call the cops, because you yielded the time. If he has to limit the time due to the people that are there, I don't know what rules they follow in regards to how they run their forum. But, I do know if you have a large amount of people, you have to make accommodations so everyone will speak, because nobody wants to be there at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Right, that's
So
their
why-
job.
But people start complaining, because remember, we was at Villadome till like God knows when.
It's like over 4 hours, I think, right?
You know why though? Because
Oh.
they work for you. They are there to honor your 3 minutes. They don't get to shave that time down because too many people showed up.
Right.
Every person deserves to be heard. We only get 3 minutes.
Well, you're still being heard. So I mean, I don't know what their rule is. So if they shaved it down to 2:30, I don't know. I mean, I would have to go and really look into it and see what's allowed and what's not allowed. My concern would be, why did they threaten to call the cops? Because you yielded your time. They would have to show something in writing, because as far as I'm concerned, that's the purpose of having a public hearing, is so you can hear from the public. So as long as you weren't displaying any disruptive behavior, I really don't understand. And you have to verbalize that you are yielding your time. So if you can't talk, how are you supposed to yield it? So, a lot of things that they do is just, people don't question it enough.
But still, like, what do you even charge somebody for that?
That's what when you told me, I started looking, and I'm like, unless you displayed behavior that was either disruptive or it was a possible harm to someone, they really shouldn't have done that.
Right.
And then, but people need to go look who appointed him.
Just a power trip. There was no other reason other than it was a power trip. There's no other reason why.
Go look to see who they're all appointed. Go look to see what town council appointed him.
Correct.
To his office or her office, and ask them, why was this done? What is the proper procedure? What is the proper protocol? And then you may be able to take it a step further. People don't understand it, as we pay them, they don't pay us.
I was willing to go. I wanted to see them make a case against that, but I said, you know what, Lisa, we got to do the show tonight. Turn in our badges and let's go. And as we were walking out, the police were parking. In fact, I put video up of and Lisa did a quick little, let's preserve this real quick before we leave.
That's just so crazy to me. I thought we lived in a democracy, but I guess I was wrong. And
it's so sad what our government has become. And that was just the planning board meeting. The town board meeting was yesterday. And I know we've been kind of lamenting about the, and again, I want to finish with Indian Hills, but we don't have a resolution because the meeting's still going on. We left, but this is what it looks like. But
one thing I didn't hear anybody say, which I was a little disappointed, but then we did leave a lot early. And there was still a lot of people to talk, but I did hear a lot about the water impact, which I was glad to hear, because that is huge. But I didn't hear anything about the wildlife. I never hear anything about the wildlife when it comes to these developers coming and wiping out all of our land. I never hear anything like that. And it's really just sad.
it was beautiful
They
down
just want
there.
to kill everything. They just want to kill everything. And it's disgusting.
A freshwater pond, I just can't even wrap my head around what they're very likely going to do. They're actually convincing these people that you'll lose the golf course if you don't let us put in these townhouses and the catering hall. Like, I kept thinking to myself, catering hall, the drunk driving incidences are going to increase, not just the traffic. You talk a whole wedding. Okay, come on. Yeah, no, there are people. Not everybody's Ubering. We've been at these events. We see.
So it was 99 townhouses on 155 acres?
Protected. I mean, we did this whole show on it, but there's a fault line that's right out there. Indian Hills was named it because the Indians said that it was bad ground, and it's not ground to be, it's ground to be preserved, not built on. It's just not, it's not prudent.
Right.
Oh. So the town board meeting was yesterday, and one of the things that we have been lamenting about, and I know I'm segueing from they didn't give us enough time to people taking too much time, but I want you to understand too, what a stickler for the rules we are. The rules are we get 3 minutes, we prepare for it. That means you don't take any of it away, but I shouldn't go over either. I should be respectful of other people's times. And Chad opened up the town board meeting stating that from now on, that there wasn't going to be a bell, that the microphones were automatically going to be shut off when the 3 minutes were up for the person who was speaking. What do you think about that?
You said, what do we think about that?
Yeah.
I think that's good, I guess, but the people can still keep rambling on
No,
if
because
they
it's
want
just the
to.
microphone.
And carrying on.
I'm cool with it. I think
Make it
we've been
loud.
saying it for a while. But so what happened, I guess it didn't work. Because next thing you know, like you hear the first speaker who's going over ding, 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 and for the rest of the meeting, ding, 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 with the bell. So I don't know what they were trying to do, but it didn't work. And I hope they get it fixed because I support cutting off the microphones at 3 minutes.
We'll see. That's all I have to say is we'll see.
Another thing that came up during the meeting was the loitering at CVS.
It's very uncomfortable. And when you go there at any given hour, there are a lot of interesting people outside.
Well, I used to drive a pickup truck, and when I drove my pickup truck into the parking lot to go pick up something, you needed to go pick up something quick or whatever. You pull into that parking lot in a pickup truck. It doesn't matter whether you're a male or female. Your truck is literally and instantaneously surrounded by day workers. I didn't want to get out of my truck. And that's yeah,
Oh.
there's a lot.
It doesn't make you feel good like you just go to
No.
another CVS. Sometimes I do. Because I
Yeah.
just,
Plus, it's dirty. It smells like, when's the last time
Urine.
you were in that parking lot?
It was like
It
urine,
stinks like fecal matter and urine.
urine.
And it's disgusting. And how many times I've driven through that parking lot or even drive by slowly and look at all times of the day, especially early in the morning, and you'll see someone's little tallywhacker sticking out, taking a wee-wee. It's disgusting. It really is. It's gross. It's gross. Just a little. It's
So
gross.
there was two managers. There was the main manager and I believe the pharmacy guy who spoke at the town board meeting, and they were basically begging for help. We need your help. And Mark Cuthbertson was like, well, you can meet with public safety. And he's like, we have met with public safety. Well, you can go to the second precinct. We have gone to the second precinct. We've done basically everything. And well, then why are you here? And why are you here is because you guys changed the laws. You're telling us that these laws are on the books, but they've been proved to be unconstitutional, and yet they remain on the books, giving us the illusion of having an avenue for us to handle the things that are destroying the quality of our life, when in fact you have a false law on the books that you've already proved is against the constitutional rights. So you, as the lawmakers, need to fix this.
The fact that he was
Going back and forth with people again.
This is why I have a problem with people who run our town and you're not in tune with the people. And this is why I say this. If you are of the top 10 elite of the community, you can't identify with the other 90%, right? So you don't have to go to that CVS. You don't have to deal with the people over there. You don't come over here. So how can you understand what we're going through when you don't even go there? And I guarantee you, he only goes there when it's time for election, and he does this little thing in Spanish, and then he, does all these other things, like he'll give a breast cancer thing or whatever when it's time for election. And because he and others don't live direct, or they're not directly impacted, or their families don't have to be directly impacted, it's kind of like exactly what he said. Well, why are you here? It's people like that that we should keep in mind during election time. And if they keep getting elected, then people really need to start looking at their sponsors. Because one thing sponsors hate is to be outed out in public for things that somebody they've supported that are not favorable. We really need to take our time and start taking back what's ours. Because all three of us live in this community and utilize things in this community. Just like you could go there and see someone, urinating on the floor. I've come through there picking my mom up from work because she takes the train at 11 o'clock, and this man stumbled into the street drunk.
Yep.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know how big my car is. If I hit him,
You're
we would
wrong.
have a problem.
Yep.
So I can't go to town hall because I have people that don't understand what we go through. And now if I do, so they're not going to help me. The police are not going to get there enough time. So what is it for regular people like us to do? We just have to kind of go through it. And that's basically why he and others are allowed to say, like, what are you here for? It's the arrogance and the lack of compassion that makes some of them who are so smart, especially Mr. Cupperson, just unbearable, because he's very intelligent and he has a wealth of knowledge. But his blatant arrogance and his just disrespectful manner just makes him intolerable at a lot of the time.
Yep.
So I don't expect much from him when it comes to that, but I do feel bad. I don't go to that CVS. It's just something I don't do.
Well, and the manager was saying that he has elderly clients who he's delivering the medicine to because they won't come anymore. They're scared. And that's why I said there was the manager of the store and then the pharmacy guy, because he was talking about specifically, like, I've talked to my patients, my clients, they won't come down here, and they're telling me this is the reason why. It's no other reason. It's not like they can't. I mean, it's a little more difficult, but it's good for the elderly to get out of their home and get that little bit of exercise, even if it's just to get their medication. They are giving him feedback that I'm not coming here for this reason specifically.
And
Yep.
I mean,
and it's been going on for years.
And if it's good for I agree, it is good for the elderly to get out, but I don't think they want to get out to be harassed or possibly, right? And then God forbid something should happen to them, and then one of their children or grandchildren or nephews retaliate in any kind of way, then it becomes a bigger problem than what it really needs to be.
Yep.
So it's really unfortunate.
It is. And it's been going on for years and nothing has been done about it. Nothing.
One thing, you see where that big old Rite Aid is in the village? The big old Rite Aid that is, I think, diagonal from the St. Pat's School?
Wild by Nature.
Yes. I bet you never
It could be Genevieve's way back in the day.
there are never any day laborers there. I wonder why.
Yeah, I wonder why.
I mean,
Well, it's not conducive to walking distance. They don't really
Well,
live
that's
down
why
there.
that place, Food Not Bombs, that Food Not Bombs every Tuesday night that gives out free food, they won't move because they said that those people can't get to us if we go anywhere else. That's what they told me.
Wow.
Yeah. Remember a friend of ours that we have, her name is Trisha. I don't know if she's watching, but we went down there on a Tuesday night and asked them, for safety reasons and for other reasons, why can't you move down to like the church to to St. Hughes? Why can't you move to a bigger parking lot that's not on the corner of, of that road right there, for safety reasons? And that's what they said.
So
Certain people- those people can't get to us anyway.
I
They
just want to
can't walk.
understand. I want to understand what you're saying. So wait, because it's not funny. It's not funny, but I just have a hard time understanding foolishness. You mean to tell me, are you talking about the St. Hughes that's on New York Avenue, or are you talking about another one?
Yes, right down the road.
Okay, so the place where they're having it, right
Or
there,
the tires, right?
or where the tires, is too far for them to move to St. Hughes because the people can't get there. If they can
Yes,
get to all weather tires, how come they can't get to St. Hughes?
we should go down there on a Tuesday night, and we should go down there and ask them. And you will hear the same answer. That's what they told me and my friend Trisha a few years ago. That's exactly what they told us.
Ridiculous.
And we were just asking for safety purposes. Why can't you go down to the church? It's fenced in, that one parking lot right off of Pulaski there. We thought that was great. You don't have people spilling in the road like they do every Tuesday night. You don't have people on the streets. But nope, they said no.
I mean, that
Made no sense.
yeah. I mean, that's not even a mile apart.
I know.
So why you wouldn't be able to, if you could get there, unless the people just live in that one block, then I can understand. But I've seen people over there, and I'm pretty sure they come from all over. So if you can get there, you can get to St. Hughes is literally up the street.
And if it's really that far for you, if it's really a problem and you're getting free food every Tuesday night, you could take a damn taxi down the street.
There's gonna be a major parking problem coming down the pike that nobody's even realizing, with that huge project being on the other side of the train track from where all the St. Hughes stuff is and everything. It's all that's gonna start to filter this way. All of it. The big monstrosity on New York Avenue that I
passed tonight on the way to town hall.
spend at least 12 seconds every week on.
I couldn't believe it. You see how they're smacking up that pressed board? Boom, 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 boom,
Yeah, I
boom.
still gotta go down and get an update on it because they're up to the second floor now. Another issue that came up on the town board meeting was people having pets in Heckscher Park. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, less.
I think it gets rid of the ducks that leave more shit than any dog is gonna. There's no human following up past the ducks, picking up all the poop in little bags. But these dogs come with humans who do. So I'm kind of okay with the dogs keeping the ducks away, or at least scooting them out into the beautiful pond, because there's so much poop on the sidewalks. And I know there's not much we could do about it. Huntington High School used to have a dog. Shoot, if I wish my daughter was here to remind me of the name, but they used to have a dog that would chase all the ducks off the property. Because I was saying, oh, there's just poop everywhere. They're like, yes, we used to have a dog. So I'm all for it. Why are animals restricted? Aren't animals more nature than we are?
Well, they have to be on a leash. It's not like they're going to go after and kill a goose or a duck, and they're not going to chase them very far. And they're not going to get hurt, and the ducks and geese are going to come back as soon as that dog is gone. But maybe for the moment, I mean,
What
I
if
don't.
I brought my
really
pet
care.
chicken? How is that different than the duck? Like, I'm gonna pick up my pet chicken. I'm gonna bring my chicken to, and you're gonna be upset with because it's a pet. It's.
Can I bring my cat on a leash?
Right? Is it, how far off is this from the same speed? Lisa, not for nothing, I'm about to throw you under the bus, but you had a pet turtle. Not only did you bring it to the park, but you left it there so he had some friends because you had actually rescued him.
Well, he really wasn't my turtle. I found him in the middle of the road.
See, that killed her. Yeah.
But he wasn't my turtle. I found him in the middle of the road.
You're going to get in so much trouble for illegally importing a turtle.
It wasn't mine.
And then bitching about how dirty the park was when you probably made that happen with the dirty turtle.
Good God almighty.
Yeah, the story
Oh, my Lord.
themselves. So anyways, we had so much fun on Monday.
We did. We did.
To segue into what happened on Monday, because I always hate taking up so much airtime, but
ta-da! We were with Andre and his friends and his family, and boy, oh boy, was it a packed crowd. It was so much fun. He's a great guy.
He's very nice. I did put posted when we were there, as I normally do with any event we go to or any event politically. And I had a comment. I said, I was impressed to say the least. And someone was like, "Well, what's so impressive about him?" And I said, "Are you referring?" Because the post was about his affair. And I said, "Are you referring to the affair the event that I attended, or him as a person?" And she commented both. So, I mean, for me, what I enjoyed the most is that I saw so many different people there, all different races, all different economic class, social class.
Everybody.
You had Democrats, you had Republicans, but what was significant about it was everyone meshed together like they were all one.
One of the guys had said that there was a bunch of cops there, and there were also a bunch of guys that those cops had arrested at one point, and they were all getting along.
Yeah, I mean, but it that shows someone like that is very unique for many reasons, because he can bridge a lot of gaps. And if the Republican Party resembled what he does more, they would go so much further within the minority communities and people that of a certain economic class, because the Republicans have a reputation of being very stuck up and class conscious, which is okay because that's their prerogative. But what his event did was it displayed a different side of them. And even the stuffy Republicans that we see were even very friendly, and they were speaking. And I did make a note of it. The only one who didn't speak to us and looked us dead in our face was Andrew Rea. So for me, that's a no-go for that vote. Because
I saw him, but he was over by the bar the whole time, so he was hard to get.
No, there's no excuse. Every single politician who was there talked to us. Every single one. So when you're the only one, you stand out. And you don't stand out for a good reason.
He didn't sit very far from us. Wasn't he one table away?
And he walked past us and looked at us 3 times, still never said anything. So you don't get a pass. I don't care where you were sitting, because if you can make your way around, then you can do what you have to do. If the head of the Republican committee of Huntington can come and talk with us, then you're no better than she is. The sad part about it is that he's going to go off his mother's name. She is a wonderful woman. She is so warm. She's so pleasant. She's so bubbly. And I really enjoy her. Her son does not command the same. So when you treat people a certain way, you should remember that you are up for election.
He can win just on her name and her old signs as it is. He can win on just that.
Her signs.
They're her signs. They are.
That's a little crazy with the sign.
Oh God.
We've had our fun share with signs this week.
Oh,
Oh my God, it's all about the sign. Everybody gets bonkers over the signs every week.
Every week.
No, I'm
Yep.
not doing that.
Every
So what are some other things that happened at Andre's fundraiser? It was interesting. It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
It was
The food
very
was
nice.
great. I've been there with the Hibernians a couple of times, and it holds a lot of people. In the beginning, there wasn't a lot when we first got, but we were totally on time. We went in, we got our food. The food was great.
Yeah, they had to bring out more tables.
Yes, no,
Yeah.
as we were sitting
they were
there,
there rolling tables past us.
yeah, I got us a couple of white Zinfandel spritzers. Thank you, Andre, for the open bar. That was really awesome. While we sat and we ate, we just watched everybody come in, and they started piling in. We were definitely people watching. That was neat. And we sat next to this lovely woman named Gigi. She was so much fun. Saw a lot of people, like you were saying, I was pointing out all the really good looking guys that were single. Like, we're going to have to hook these guys up with some people. This is a nice crowd with all those blue collar workers out there. And I noticed not a lot of ties.
No.
Remember, we were saying, like, the crowd, like what we were seeing.
Yeah,
That was his
just
event,
regular everyday people.
a classic event.
He brings
That
a lot of people together. I really
Yeah.
like that a lot. I noticed that.
That represented the community as it should be.
Yep.
And we don't have that. We definitely don't have that. And we need that. Because if you look at the
We have it
demographics,
now.
well,
But
we
he's
have
gonna
to-
win. We have it now.
We have
So,
to make sure, and even if he does, even when he wins, we have to hope that his party takes that into consideration.
mhm.
I wouldn't get too cocky with that. I think he's definitely a front runner, but never, ever, ever overthink the power of the incumbency. That's
Yeah.
'cause people are very comfortable and safe. I'm seeing a lot of people that are voting for Jean and Joan. But what I'm seeing visually and what I feel from people, I think Sorrentino's even beating Jean. So, but never, nobody's talking about Cleary, poor thing. I mean, the only signs I see are on public property, and I see people picking him up as they walk by, because this town is fed up with the illegally placed.
Well, they shouldn't be on public property. They're only supposed to be
Sure.
where they're welcome.
Well, on your lawn. If it's a
Right, and if they're
lawn.
not welcome, if you don't ask them for a sign, clearly you have no, then there shouldn't be a sign there.
Right, and there's two candidates that I see that are handing them out online, and people are asking for them.
Right.
Jean and Andre. So, I mean, it's such a weird mix of many things you have to put together with that actual polling data. We should actually start a poll. We can. We should. Who's your 2 votes going to? What else happened? Nobody wants to touch it with the red flip poll, do they? I'll do it. I do it all the time. I don't care.
What? The suspense. I would if I knew what
I'm
happened.
just shocked to find out that
Oh no, man down.
no,
What?
back off.
Please no.
I'm about to click it. Do I have to back off?
Click it. What am I missing?
I'm clicking.
Do
Don't
it. Do it. Do it. I yield my time to you. Do it.
Don't do it.
Oh, that.
Wait, I'm gonna have to get up and Vanna White this one.
What's on
I have
here?
to recuse myself from this part of the.
I gotta
recusing
recuse
yourself?
myself. All you gotta do is go like this.
Why do you have to recuse yourself?
It's a conflict of interest.
Okay.
Conflict of interest. I have to.
So, she's running. She's running for your guys' district. Dr. Rebecca Leonardo, and that's probably some of the most advertising she'll get. Her husband's Elliot Leonardo.
But why is she
PLC
running?
guy,
Why?
and he's best friends with Nick Chiappetta, the town attorney, and Chad Lubinacci, the town supervisor. So I don't know.
But why is she running? Why did she tell you she was running?
She said she was running because when you become a mother, you feel differently about political issues and you feel like you want to get involved. And it's Elliot said one of us had to. So, you know, I feel like it's just the same old. It's what they do, and it's so, you know, well, somebody has to do it. Somebody has to be a space filler because this comes down to other people in the background making deals of, we're just going to put this person here as a soft sell because this seat is already for this one, while we run this seat, and you give me this judgeship. This is what we see when we see the 5 people in the room making the deals. And that's why that hurt so much when we were driving to Andre's fundraiser, when I'd never seen it before, my very first lawn sign for her. So I was shocked because it's complete nepotism. I would have expected it out of Elliot before her. I think that really hurt. So, and to use the term doctor, I know vets are doctors, but you know, you're not running to be the doctor. And I said the same thing, to be fair, about Dr. Spencer. He went on the whole thing of Doc Spencer, you're not running to be a doctor. You're running to be a legislator. And it's the first I've ever heard of any interest on her part. But I gave her a little bit of airtime and I was truthful. We all had the same feelings. I'm not going to say what you guys did.
What? What in Sam?
What?
What?
I'm not at all.
What?
I am going to segue straight past that into, oh, do you know this time of year, what did the town board do?
This time of year?
Yes, this time of year, the town board voted to rename the town of Huntington.
Spooky. Yeah.
Huntington.
Spookyville. She was gonna say
I was spooky
Huntington.
because
Don't
it gets spooky.
Don't you remember I changed the Parents of Huntington page to Parents of Huntington and all hell broke loose on that thread?
I
for-
remember that. That
Oh,
was bizarre.
it was really crazy. It was all over the name change. So
There's a lot of crazy parents out there.
People really need to get a life.
They really do.
They really need to get a life. I mean,
My name is
you
Eric.
had an excellent idea. Give me a break.
and it was cute. It was a little 7-year-old girl. So
It was.
I'm totally going to broadcast this guy for the next 3 minutes. I think he's 2 minutes and 48 seconds. He doesn't fit his whole time, but it's just so funny. And you guys haven't seen it yet. I know this. So, but I want you to see it. So let me get over here. The screen share is going to go on, I hope. Do you see it?
No, not yet.
Oh. Well, don't say anything. Maybe that'll help. Here we go.
Dark and Dreams of Man, H.P. Lovecraft. My name is Eric Yearwood. I'm a bail bondsman and cultural anthropologist. And for the past 6 non-consecutive years, resided at 295 East Jericho Turnpike. I'm here today because it's been almost 1 year since this board voted unanimously to ceremonially.
Hold on. Something happened here that I didn't do this right. And I'm sorry, but I have to get it right because if you know me by now, I have to.
Mhm.
Otherwise, I'm not doing the right thing. Okay. Now do you see it?
Yes.
There we go. Okay. Sorry guys, again, we're still learning this stuff, or I am. I'm the director and producer. Okay, ready, go.
Go.
Sealed by Dark and Dreams of Man, H.P. Lovecraft. My name is Eric Yearwood. I'm a bail bondsman and cultural anthropologist. And for the past 6 non-consecutive years, resided at 295 East Jericho Turnpike. I'm here today because it's been almost 1 year since this board voted unanimously to ceremonially change the name of our town to Huntington, New York, in an effort to boost paranormal tourism. Well, the spiritual and psychological fallout has proved disastrous. Birth rates are down, according to Newsday.com, perhaps coincidental, but people are unnerved, to put it mildly. We don't need another Sleepy Hollow in the state of New York. One is enough. I'm speaking for all these people who say we don't want to be known as a town that celebrates visitations from the dead. If that is our crowning virtue, then we ought to march out right now with a bunch of shovels and dig up everybody in Huntington Historic Cemetery and parade them around on our shoulders. No, thank
That's
you.
cool.
I
So
remember a
don't do
time
that.
when if you spoke up in this town and said you'd seen lights in the sky over Mill Dam Park at 10:30 on a Tuesday night in June, people called you a quack, a Nimrod. Well, just last month, the Senate Intelligence Committee, which I have documented here, was briefed by the Navy, and I'd like to enter this in public record, about documented encounters with UFOs.
No.
Well, question. If it turns out that all the nut sacks, wing nuts, if they were all right and we're being visited from the sky, then what's so crazy about taking a stand against visitations from the grave? I'm asking this committee to renounce the name change and approve a spiritual ritual cleansing of the town council office. I've already reached out to Father Camp at St. Patrick's about this, and I'm confident he'll be on board. This is one of the oldest communities in America. Native American burial grounds, Revolutionary War graves, put them together. What do you get? I don't know, but why don't we just leave it alone? If you think I'm loony, that's fine, but do me a favor, go down to the corner of New York and Henry to Sweet Pieces Antiques for some wicker furniture. And by the way, in the basement, you'll find Civil War era murals depicting scenes of evil spirits and occult practices. I'm not comfortable with my city board ushering in some sort of paranormal tornado in exchange for tourism dollars. Mr. Lupinacci, you were prompted by a letter from a 7-year-old girl to turn this town into Huntington. Well, I'm a 40-year-old man, and I've got a briefcase full of newspapers, and I'm asking you to revoke the name change. Thank you.
Holy.
Is that
spookiness.
awesome?
He clearly hasn't spent much time down at Sweet Hollow and Mount Misery,
He's got a pocket.
where the UFOs are. Oh my God. You guys, you have not let me take you down to Mount Misery in
Yeah,
the middle of the
Remember
night.
he said he was. He's
And Sweet Hollow.
he's a cultural anthropologist.
He's a nut.
Is that something, is that something you actually paid for in college?
No,
It's
no, he just made that up.
He had to, right?
He did. Yeah, no, that was very bizarre. Birth rates are down because Fibonacci said we can name Huntington for one day.
Look at the power Chad has. I mean, birth rates
Wow.
are down.
Oh.
You know, he was so all over the place. He started talking about UFOs. All you got that upset, and then he started bringing spiritual this and that, and then he said, "I'm going to bring Father." What?
Yeah, we need a spiritual cleansing at the town
But you
board.
don't-
Which I kind of agree with. I kind of agree.
A town hall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the whole thing
Everybody
after
A
tonight.
town hall.
We don't practice the same religion, so why would you think that bring a priest down would enrage people even more than a name? And why are you that worked up over a name? We have a ton of things to be worked up over, not a name.
Mhm. For one day? Which is
And
cute.
the little girl who took her time out to write about. It wasn't like she
That was
was.
a-
She was a little kid.
Halloween.
It was a feel-good story. It
It
was
really was.
Halloween.
And I don't even celebrate Halloween. And I thought the story was cute. I would change the name. People get so worked up about. She didn't ask. Could it be Big Booty Holes Day? She didn't say that. No, I mean she didn't. That's not what she said.
Not
Now,
stripper heel legislator day. Come on, give me a break.
You see, Lisa? Lisa's always going off the bandwagon. See? Bring that one up. I have to bring that up. But
we always wonder what shoes Susan is wearing to her Skype meetings for legislation.
Exactly.
Always wonder.
If you're going to be a female legislator, you need to have good shoes. Hint, hint.
Yeah.
Wink, wink.
Oh, hate to interrupt, but we opened with Daniel Carpin. It's probably why I got so mad. I just adore him. He's so sweet. So I got a phone call from him, and he said, "Jennifer, I can't vote for Jones Circle." He goes, I have to vote for the Sorrentino guy. And he says, he explains. You guys are gonna love this. So he walks around on the clogs all the time.
Mm-hmm.
He goes to Andre for the pads. He gets 40 miles per pad. I know this information because he said he says, I have to vote for the Sorrentino guy. I've been getting my shoe pads from his dad for years. So it's amazing why people will actually vote for somebody. I think it boils down with Sorrentino that we know him, somebody that knows him, or you know him yourself, or this and that. But how funny is that? Clogs have you have to get your tires changed on your car because you can only get a certain amount of miles before, if you can't stick a coin in it, you need his new set of tires, or you got to get them rotated. He needs new pads for his clogs.
Like a horse. They even need new shoes.
Yes. I never knew. I learned that last night. But how about that? He's voting for Andre because he gets the pads from his dad's shop.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, whoever vote for, whoever you think is best. But there's a lot of people who are just not pleased. So I think that would be another reason why Andre would be considered. We've had a lot of things that were not done, a lot of things that showed us they just don't care. And Andre is likable because we know him, we see him. And I think the most thing that we have, other than Dom Spada, he talks to you like a regular person. There's no airs about him. And he's always saying, I'm not the one with the words. I don't talk eloquently. We don't need you to talk eloquently. We need you to talk how you are. And we need you to approach us just the way you are, because that makes us feel comfortable. When you become overly arrogant, then we have what we see in town hall. We're tired of that. So I think those are some of the reasons why people like him. And if you go down anywhere, I'm talking about in Dix Hills, Huntington, South Huntington, Huntington Station, his name is in a lot of shops.
In the windows, hanging from their fences. This is I don't mind giving them the free advertising. They didn't ask me for it. James Alperi Wood Floors. This is right on 25A. You know the wood floor place with the
the Alapurdi family.
Outside. Yep. They have people around town have these huge huge signs. I told him he needs to make flags and let us drive around town with the little flags on the back of our
That's a
car.
great idea.
Isn't it? I love the idea. I hope he does it. I will take a flag. I will actually put a pole on my car for him. That's how much I like him.
He's very, and he has a lot of good ideas in regards to, you know, how we could change the things in town. And it's just refreshing to know that he's just an everyday person. His wife and kids, everyday working people, they look like everyday people, I should say. I'm not saying working people, but they look like everyday people. We haven't seen that since Dom. Let's be
And
honest.
their daughters are adorable. His daughter sang. She's 10 years old.
Oh, she
Oh, I
was
forgot about that.
God
You
bless
got- Oh my God,
America.
you have to mention.
good.
She sung God Bless America, and it was absolutely like she's got some serious lungs on her. She's
She has
Yeah.
some
it wasn't
soul.
just like a kid got up and they were cute. She's actually really good.
That was
We have-
precious. It was so, I had goosebumps.
She
That
was
was
good.
awesome.
She had a lot of soul in her voice, a lot of soul. So
Yeah.
I was impressed with that as well.
Yeah,
And
she was
that's
a little
just-
nervous at first, but then she got awesome. Like who wouldn't be? Even she did. Most adults can't get up in there and do that. She's 10.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
you sound very good. So
A lot of people have been saying too, like, well, what is he running on? What are we, you know? If you want to
Ask
talk about what's broken in Huntington, it's town hall, and nobody knows it better than a guy who's been working in general services and seeing what's broken. Like what happened tonight with the 3-minute rule. Those little things all add up to being a broken, and one of the largest employers in the town is the town of Huntington, and they're broken. There's a lot of policies that need to be tweaked. You know, we know we have issues with the water. We know it's overdevelopment. Everybody talks about that, never does anything. This guy's been studying what's wrong with policy from the inside as a worker, working his way up from the bottom to the top for a while now. He knows what's broken.
Mhm.
and he has people that he works with. He has people that work under him that talk to him, and they have open and candid conversations. I challenge you to, any town board member that's up there right now, any of them, name 3 things that we as a community are concerned with, and I guarantee you they all will not be able to give you the correct answer, or even something remotely close to what is the correct answer. You know, they focus on LIPA, you know, it's important, but at the end of the day, what's done is done. We just have to kind of wait. And then they talk about the beautification of Huntington. Well, you know, it could be beautiful. I don't want to die because, you know, one of these gang members out here acting crazy. You know, they just don't focus on things that are not important to our community. You know, and Andre, when you talk to him, let's face it, he knows what you're talking about.
He
And
does.
I think we need more of that and less of what we have now. You know, that's just my opinion, and that's what I try to reiterate when people ask me questions in regards to him. I think he's probably one of the best bets that we have.
Definitely. There's no doubt. Yeah. He was like, you know, rusty barge in the harbor. That was a bad move. I have to agree. And, you know, and nobody's talking about Kathleen Cleary. It's like she's not even in the race.
Who?
Right. Correct.
Oh,
So,
no.
you know, I don't get it.
Well,
And-
the other person in the race, don't forget, Monday night, Gene Cook, Ohika Castle, 5:30 to 8 o'clock. That should be really nice. Come down and talk to Gene and ask Gene what his plans are. See what he has in mind.
I hope the ladies could tell me because I wasn't invited to that one. So hopefully
No,
they'll.
no. You
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. The invitation came through third party. You're right. I'm sorry.
yes.
I wasn't really invited. They just said, you know, make sure you bring Dana.
I wasn't directly invited by Andre either. That came very third party. That came through somebody who didn't show up with me, by the way. Because he had to work in Nassau.
You lay down with that person every night. So
I know
that
I do. He's a good man.
And there was a lot of people that didn't show up at Andre's thing that were invited but couldn't make it because they
Because
were working.
Right. It's true. It's true.
Lots of people.
It's true. When we looked around, it was a lot of workers, but you're right. You're absolutely right. We're gonna mend that fence. We're gonna fix that issue.
Oh, this is somebody asked, we were at Andre's event, and someone asked me in regards to our political affiliations, all three of us, and how come we support what we support, and how come I change who I support. And my response was that we're all part of a different political group. We each have our own thoughts. And we are not here to vote for people just that go along with who our political, party has appointed. So you might see us cross endorse someone because there's nobody with a perfect ticket.
Correct.
I've endorsed Democrats before. Of course, I've endorsed Republicans, and I've endorsed independents. And I could be 100% for you when you're running. But once you get in and you don't do what you're supposed to do, then I will come as hard as I went out for you. It's going to be as hard as I come out. I fall back because people are going to be watching. And when you tell me you've done so much for people in my community or people that look like me, and the only thing I see you doing is taking pictures, my good friend, I love these people. I went to this barbecue. I went to this wedding. That doesn't, that you still haven't done anything. You just took a picture.
Mhm.
And people need to understand the difference between actually taking a picture just because you're running and actually getting the person in the booth to vote for you. So it's not that we endorse one party over the other, or we just blatantly talk negatively or anything like that. We voice our opinions, and sometimes our opinions aren't favorable.
Well, we did that during the primaries, the Democrat primaries as well. We had our favorite people in the primary.
Yeah. We give everybody a fair share as what we think, or what our opinion is based off of.
It's a fair assessment. We say the things that people are talking about in the back with absolutely reckless abandonment. But I mean, not for nothing, this shows great feedback for them when you think about it. They shouldn't be hurt. They shouldn't be, or anything else. They should take it as feedback of, this is where I'm failing in my job. So when she is going around and making sure she's taking those, hey, look, I got my favorite.
She's not the only one.
No, she's not. But she's the one who's the most Captain Obvious right now.
I think it's how you looked at it. Jean was caught taking a picture with Tracy the other day. It's my good friend. Your good friend, great. But what have you done for people that look like her? Nothing. You did one little thing in, what is it, Manor. Now we're supposed to bow down to you because you did something there because of your election time. Enough of the bullcrap, people, please. Let's just stop. You don't care for certain communities until it's election time. And it's time for people to start waking those people up and saying, hello, ask them what they have done for you. When I can't tell you what Tom Donnelly looks like. How about that? So I would be inclined to vote. I'm going to be very honest for Rebecca.
Right.
Oh,
right.
I know her, so I would be inclined to vote. I don't know.
I hear you. I question the nepotism behind it, but you're right. I'm ready.
I agree with that too. I mean,
it
looks weird.
It does. The nepotism part looks bad.
The optical, visual of what you're talking about. You got these three best friends. Right. Now they're overly involved with the school. Now you're overly involved in, politics. It's too much. But, when it comes to voting, I have to vote with what I know. And I don't know Tom Donnelly at all.
We haven't even started to cover the 16th, the 17th, and the 18th, or the county executive spots. And I think that we need to. I think a lot of people aren't even aware there's not much noise about the election. There's a lot of lawn signs, but it looks like only Sorrentino, Cook, and Circle are running right now. And we do have the 16th, the 17th, the 18th legislative districts within the boundaries of the town of Huntington, as well as the Suffolk County executive. Steve Ballone is running for office. I know he's running against Mr. Kennedy.
Yeah. And they always talk about these lawn signs, and they talk about, signs don't get people elected. If signs don't get people elected, why do you all invest in them? And if signs don't get people elected, why do you try to put a sign next to your opponent's sign everywhere?
They only say that when they're scared.
It sounds foolish. It sounds so foolish. signs don't get people elected, but then you put one in the barge that's in the water.
Yeah.
Or you put a billboard up. I mean, come on, signs
Yep.
obviously make a deal. You know,
Or the night before that they come out and they put it in front of the signs that who they're most afraid of.
so it's like, stop saying that. It doesn't, it makes you look foolish as a person. Signs are important because if they weren't, you wouldn't spend half, a good portion of your campaign budget on getting them.
Yep.
So it's just like, sometimes you have to sit down and you really have to start thinking. And like I said before, people need to start holding these people accountable. If he or she only takes pictures when they come to your community and you still put them in, that's on you. But if you come out and you see that they still win, even though you came out and you voted, you start hitting their sponsors. Start going to see who invests in them. Start going to see who pays money for them. And I guarantee once you start meeting with those people or writing to those people, things will change. So
Look to see if they had a update. They haven't voted yet. Because we're at the end of our show.
oh, really?
They're
Wow.
they're still
9:20 already.
Yeah, so you know what I'll do? I promise I will finish watching this, and since there's no way we're gonna have any resolution, we've only got 2 minutes left before we sign off. I will put it up on the Huntington View how they voted, if they vote.
Yeah.
I can't believe this thing's still going.
I can't believe it's still going either. It started at what was it? 6 o'clock, right?
She really
So
shaped
you got out. It's already 9.
6 o'clock it started.
That's how many I was just saying. They should really shape people's time. No, I was just being facetious.
Oh,
But no, every single person has a right to be heard. That alone tells you how many people are speaking out against the project. There were some also, to be fair, that were speaking for the project.
yeah, I couldn't believe that, but whatever.
But they were saying it under the illusion that they would lose the golf course if they didn't. Like the
Yeah.
golf course is just going to disappear and people are going to build houses.
And they were clueless to anything else that was going on.
Right. They gave them like the worst case scenario and they rolled with it. Like it was fear. Like if we don't take what they're offering us, we're going to get the worst thing you could ever imagine. And it's really going to destroy the environment. That's basically what they were saying.
Yeah,
They're not just going to rip up the golf course and go away. It's
No.
stupid. So do you ladies have any final thoughts?
no,
No.
no.
Good show tonight, girls. So I
Right.
hope everyone enjoyed tonight's Huntington View. Have a good evening, everybody.
Bye, everyone.